Hello, Sula here from MistyHilltops.com. Thanks for stopping by. In this video, I'm working on a scrapbook layout that I titled Chapel, and I am working with a digital scrapbook kit, A Happy Thought by Krystal Hartley from Sweetshoppe Designs. So this is a 6x6 double page spread, so it is actually 6x12 in size, and I am using digital papers to cover the entire back of the page there. So here is one part of it that goes, and then it's the same paper that will go on the other page there. So it will be a continuous design, as most of my pages are for this album that I'm creating here, and I'm just making sure that everything fits well on this page there. Then I have this other strip that will go here at the bottom, and these are all very straightforward, so I didn't even run a card around the edges because all of it will be, all the edges except the outside edges will be covered, and I don't want to roughen up the edges of outside edges that where the page actually is it's the edge of the page. So then there is this, it's supposed to be a paper strip that goes all around the edge there, but because the rest of it is all going to be covered up, so I just give the illusion like there is a paper strip, but it's actually, I'm only using 2 small strips of paper there, saving myself a lot of ink. And obviously it's much easier to just add little bits of pieces of paper on my print page rather than trying to fit large pieces. So there's always a little extra space for small parts, but it's the bigger pieces of paper that I need space for on my print pages. So I do like to reduce in size a lot of these where I can, to save either paper or ink. So anyways, then I have this plaid piece that I'm putting on top of there, and so you see there what looks like a strip of paper is now actually covered up, and that's why it wasn't needed. Then I have this little circle. For this one I use one of my circle dies to cut it out. I like the faux stitching that it gives it, and obviously it's much easier, and I still don't have to use the print and cut feature from the silhouette. I do have a method that I use to get perfect print and cuts, and there will be a link to a video tutorial in the description box below. But I do, if I can avoid it, I try to just trim everything by hand as much as I can. Only if I have like a whole bunch of things that are just random shapes, then I pull out my silhouette there to get that cut by my machine. So now I'm finally ready because I have finished the background there, and now I can actually start putting down the photos that will go on this page. And so as usual, because the layout is kind of centered, and so I usually start from the middle of the page where I put the photos to align the photos. The middle of the page is my guideline there. Then I have these die cut flowers that I just gave some shape, and then I have these little also die cut buttons that I like to use because they have less dimension than real buttons, so they don't make the page as bulky as a real button would do. I do like using buttons on my pages, but I also find that they make my pages really bulky, and I try to keep my page flat. Here comes my title, and I think it just says Chapel. It's a royal chapel of some sort. And so it's just a tourist site, really. Like I'm just there for visitors to visit all day. So now I'm trying to arrange everything in the sense that I want to make sure that I get my 3 clusters there, and try to mix it up a little bit there. So this is what I'm doing now, and because there's some of the flowers will go behind the photos, I have to be careful with how I layer things and how I start gluing things down. So because oftentimes I forget that something is supposed to go behind the photo, and then I start gluing things down and then it doesn't work the way I planned it. It always works out anyway. It doesn't really matter, but I do like how I've planned it out. So I have planned out this page in Silhouette Studio because I'm using digital products here, and so that helps a lot with planning the page. Basically, it just takes a couple of minutes to create my own page that way, and in the Silhouette Studio with just some rectangles and the circles, and then all I need to do is just fill them up with the paper that comes with the product that I want to use, and then the rest of it is just cutting it and putting the page together. Oftentimes, though, I do add my own embellishments because I find that what comes in digital scrapbooking kits is usually not, like, I don't really like to use it so much in my physical pages, so that's something to keep in mind. So for the most part, I do create my own embellishments and stuff. Often I do word strips, and then I like to work with flowers. I love flowers on my pages. Or just here, for example, I created another little paper flag. This one I actually used some of my washi tape for, and actually was so tight underneath there that I just didn't even have to glue it down. But anyways, there's also a video tutorial on how I create paper flags just with papers and toothpicks. This one was actually one that I used a washi tape for because the washi tape just happened to kind of match the colors that I was using on this page, and so that worked fine. That bunting too is a die cut set, or it's just a die that I used with craft paper. And so the flowers are also the smaller ones are, I think, from a punch, and the bigger ones are from a die cut set there. And then the little leaves that come, they're also from a die. So try to get my own little embellishments done here on the page. So again, I'm trying to work with a visual triangle. It's kind of a design principle, so that there's 3 spots where your eyes will go as you look over the page. I'm not too crazy about how the title forms a line, and then the bunting there forms another line, but it's just the way it worked out. So it's just what it is, and sometimes it looks really great, sometimes it's okay, and this one would be one that is okay. Now I still have to decide where I want to put my word strips. Some of them I specifically created for this page and printed them out with just using the same color scheme, and some of them I have a stash of word strips that I create, and I'm sharing them as freebie on my blog slowly over time. My blog is mistyhilltops.com. So if you're interested, there's a ton of stuff that I share as freebies. And so some of the word strips are part of that. And I find they often give a nice additional kind of embellishment to the page. So I do like working with word strips and adding those to my page there. So here I'm adding more word strips to that last little cluster, and then I have one more set of word strips left that goes with the last flower there, and that would be my page done. I'm going to leave you with some more close-ups when I'm done with this, and so I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Consider subscribing, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.